What's happening, YouTube? You are in the building on the Triple L show, Lamont and Larry live. Sitting with me in this booth today, the living legend himself, Larry. How you feeling, brother?
Man, I'm good. I'm just trying to be like you. I'm just trying to keep it real and keep the people entertained during their lockdown.
Oh, I was about to say, being like me mean you ain't matching nowhere. I got on a Marvel Black Panthers in the head, and then a DC t-shirt on, then a DC poster in the background. I'm a Marvel guy, so I ain't matching nowhere.
Oh man, that's all good. I'm telling you, Disney owns Marvel and DC now, so you're all in the family.
They own a part of it. They don't own all of DC. They own a specific part of it. Which
Disney doesn't own a part of anything. They might own a part of it on paper, but they own it.
So hopefully, for all my comic book nerds out there, y'all know I'm one of them. We might finally get our crossover: Avengers versus Super Friends, Hulk versus Superman, that type thing. It'll be great. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've got an action-packed show. We were supposed to have a special guest. I'm assuming he might have got busy, but you know, me and Larry gonna get busy on these subjects.
That's right.
Subject number one: Lizzo out here showing them butt cheeks because she's thirst trapping, and we'll let you know what that's all about.
Serious thirst trapping, boy.
Serious thirst trapping. COVID-19, has it revealed the cracks in this so-called American capitalistic system? And y'all know me and Larry got hot takes for that one.
Yeah.
Gotta be more careful. Shaquille O'Neal, he's under fire over Tiger King. We'll explain when we get to that subject.
Yep.
And then finally, to round this thing off, we're going to do a little bit of talking about what would be the best video game to come to a movie, and you only got three choices: Last of Us, God of War, or Uncharted. Larry might not know none of those games because he's not a PS4 type of guy. I am, but I'll fill him in. Larry, my homie, number one, Lizzo got them butt cheeks way out there because a rapper named Blueface got on a program and said he liked BBWs, and he would hit the mess out of Lizzo butt cheeks from the back. So in response to that, Lizzo puts out a thirst trapping picture where she's laid on the couch, hind part showing, her reflection in a mirror, and it caught a buzz around social media. Larry, what do you think of this situation?
Man, we have seen that she is on serious thirst mode. I mean, I know sometimes big girls don't get all the love that they want, but it seems like since she's really blown up, she has been out there just like thirsty as a, you know, just thirsty as a dude in the desert or something. I mean, she's just out there just seriously thirst trapping. She was up there twerking with her butt out at a basketball game, and then just do what you got to do. I'm just thinking, at some point you have to realize your value and realize you don't need to be out there thirst trapping. You could just hit the dude up and be like, "Yo, come through," you know.
Well, maybe that was her way. Maybe that was her way. Larry, look at it like this: if a woman puts a picture up there and tags it to you showing the hind parts, what you think she's trying to tell you?
Oh, I know exactly what she's trying to say.
Wait a minute. I don't know now. Me Too might interpret it different. Just because she put that picture up there with her butt bent over don't mean she's trying to tell you to come get it.
That is true. This is what you do if you're Blueface.
Mm-hmm.
You go online.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on what kind of phone you have, you might have to go to the Google Play Store, or the Amazon app, or the iOS App Store.
Right.
And you get yourself a consent app.
Okay.
I didn't know about these until some youngins told me about it.
A consent app.
You go get you a consent app. And on this consent app, you have the person give a quick video thing saying, "Yes, I consent." And then they sign it.
What?
And you actually then have consent. So if somebody comes back later and says, "Oh no, I didn't want to do this," you can then say, "Nope, I actually have verifiable proof that we both consented to this as consenting adults."
Larry, my man, I got to get you up on some game, brother, because I don't ever want you to get hemmed up out there.
I'm just saying.
Larry, you can have people sign 59 consent forms, 230 consent apps. The minute anybody in the middle of mid-stroke says no, stop, and you don't stop, the consent's out the window.
I hear you, but you have to try and at least protect yourself as far as you can, as much as you can. Like, you know, you may still end up in some trouble, but you have to do at least as much as you can leading up to that. You know,
we might have to do a full segment on the consent app. I need to know what this entails. Does it say if you get pregnant, you're consenting to getting rid of the baby or keeping the baby? Does it say you consent to oral? Does it say you consent to anal? We might have to, that's going to be a whole nother subject for another day.
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know because I haven't actually got the apps because I don't have the need for one, but I was told about them. I don't want it on my phone because I don't want my wife asking, why is this on your phone? So, you know, I was told about it and I was like, that sounds like a pretty good idea because at least, you know, like, yes, like you were saying, someone could say, yeah, well, we started off as consensual and then I told him or her to stop and they didn't stop. And so there is the possibility of that happening. But I think if you have, you know, I think at that time, if you have some consent, at least people may say, well, I told him to stop. And you can say, at least you have some argument saying, I was never told to stop, or she told me to pull out, but I couldn't pull out because she was on top of me. So, you know, I'm just, you know,
as a friend of mine would say, the fuck?
I'm just saying.
Wait a minute, man. Wait a minute.
You have to be careful out there as men nowadays, man. You have to be careful.
I would tend to agree with you, but if you are dating someone, something to me that I would tell a young man or some young person who's getting out there, he's single and he's dating, I would tell him, you need to keep all the text messages and all the text messages you have back and forth with this potential person you might be having intercourse with for your own protection.
Right.
If y'all are sexting each other back and forth and it comes down to the same scenario we just said that you might be knee deep in it. And then all you say, stop.
Yeah.
You can at least say, you know, court of law, I have all these text messages showing that we had a consensual relationship. Now, then it becomes whose word versus whose at the moment of infliction. But at least you have something to support that y'all did have. This is not some one night stand where if it's a one night stand, you might be SOL, bro, up the creek with no paddle boat.
Well, that's why I think having a consent app like that is so important, because if you are having a one night stand, you know, and you say, hey, this is just for both of our protection. I want to make sure that you're okay with this. And yeah, it might seem like a little bit of a mood killer, but you know, I think in this day and age, I think things have changed a bit. So I mean, you get the person to sign the consent app, and you know, and then when you know, if something ever does come back and they try and say, no, I didn't want to do this, then you can say, well, look, we talked about it. You gave consent. There's a big difference between not giving consent and regret. Like you may have regretted what you did later. Like we might have done it and now you felt bad because you realized, oh, you didn't really like me like that, or maybe I turned out to be a jerk, or maybe you feel like a slut, or maybe you had a boyfriend or a husband, so now you feel regret. But there's a difference between regret and someone else doing something against your will. And so
Larry, let me shout out these people, and then we've got to show everybody some of these comments, man. Y'all be killing me in the comment section. So shout out to my family, Tim. You the man, brother. Shout out to Rhonda. Shout out to my homegirl Muchella up in New York, who's been following me since Power. Shout out to Carl. Shaquetta Orr, you know I rocks with you. Thanks for watching us. Claudia, thank you for watching us. CBFBMC. 100% is following with us. Daddy Slayer 187. Your comment gets to get on the T Streams in here, people. Hold on,
there he is.
Look, black men think alike. Look at the shirt he's wearing and look at mine.
I see it.
Then look at what Larry got on his head and look at what I got on my head. It's a microcosm of black men across America. Ain't that right, honey?
Great minds think alike.
Yeah. First of all, since my wife don't want to respond, I'm gonna pick on her. Because you do not let your husband say something to you and then you diss him in the middle of a live show.
Oh no.
Why is it 2 nights straight? I gotta reference my wife when her butt is in there getting food out that refrigerator.
She's pregnant, so I'm gonna advise you to just not say anything.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay out of it.
We would like to see you on the next live stream fully intact.
Yeah, because you want to talk about a detachment program. Don't you ever get yourself caught up in a situation where your wife put you on the FBI investigation. Your ass will be detached. You hear me?
I'm just saying, I don't want to see you end up out there like that woman on Tiger King with your arm missing when you come back for the next live stream.
I don't think my wife would ever feed me the tigers, but we'll see. So
I wasn't thinking she was going to feed you. I think she was going to beat the tiger and take that damn arm off.
She might. Let me fill you in on what we're talking about. So
all right.
We started out talking about Lizzo thirst trapping. She put a picture out on the gram today because rapper Blueface said, he want to smash her. He likes smashing BBWs. And the conversation somehow or another careened to Larry telling me that there is an app the young folks put him on called the Consent app.
I don't remember the exact name of it, but it is a consent app where you can have people you can sign up. I believe you have people sign it with their finger and they take a video saying that they give consent so that there is no question about whether or not people were consenting to engage in consensual sexual activity.
Move.
Yeah.
So I think it's not like anything's going to be foolproof. I mean, I guess you can have the consent app and then videotape it at the same time to have the whole encounter to show everything was consensual. But, other than that, you just have to do what you can do to protect yourself, especially as a man nowadays, because you don't want someone coming back and saying, well, I didn't want him to do this or I didn't want him to do that. And then you find yourself in trouble and you're like, well, we had agreed to this, or you thought you had.
That's new. That's new to me. I think I heard something of a concept, but I did not know that was a reality.
Yeah, man. We're going to do a full video on the Consent app later, but let me get back to the comments. My man Daddy Slayer 187 said, I just seen the pic of Lizzo in the red thong, and me personally, she can get it. So there you go. We got somebody in here for Team Lizzo. They want it. Oh man, here we go. Here we go. That's the app, Larry.
There you go.
What in the hell, man? And it actually has a heart. That shouldn't have a heart, Larry. An app like that should not have a heart as its logo. Bro.
That's wild, man.
I'm just saying. It's, if you're a brother, you should have one of those on your phone. You should have one of those on your. If you are a college student, you should have one on your phone. If you are out there in those clubs and bars, pre-quarantine, post-quarantine, and you're going to a quarantine party, you should have one of those on your phone.
Hell, you might need it now so that you can sign away giving somebody coronavirus. Hell, you can be here, and all of a sudden you hear somebody go, and sue you for the coronavirus. You be like, no, honey, you signed it. I'm not getting in no trouble for that. So,
man, somebody posted a thing. Go ahead.
T-Streams, give us your opinion of Lizzo and the struggle rapper Blueface. Is he clout chasing or is Lizzo thirst trapping?
Man, you know what? It's probably it might be a little bit of both. You know what I'm saying? It might be a little bit of both. I just sort of glanced at it while I was just sort of, it came up while I was looking at the Washington Post, and it actually came up on the side of the side feed, and I looked.
The Washington Post is getting into the tabloid stuff.
Yeah, and then I did see that you had did a video not even 3-4 hours ago, probably on it, and I'm like, what in the world is they doing? And I think some places they took it down and then it was put back up and all this other kind of stuff. But they may, I don't know, they may be a new item that's getting ready to pop out. I don't know, but I guess it's somebody for everybody. If that's his, if that's his thing, that's some people like.
Some people like them Big Johns.
Yeah.
I mean, to each their own, brother. I mean, in the video, I even said, there's somebody out there for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when you do have a quote unquote BBW that's paid like Lizzo, bruh, folks will giza their normal preferences to get with the Lizzo, and that's just how it is. Forget what you heard.
Yeah.
A lot of dudes are gonna be like they can get it, and then you do have people who would really probably do right by.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, it's kind of funny, right? Is that when you're up there and you post something like that, and like T-Stream said, they try to take it down, somebody else put it back up. Nothing could be taken down from the internet. I mean, that's just the way it is. You could post whatever you want. Once it's out there, it is out there. Like people can say, "Oh, I deleted the post." Some people can say they deleted their account. If you are a celebrity, you have to know that every single post you make, immediately the second it hits, people are out there taking screenshots of it so that it's going to live forever.
Yeah.
And it's going to get reposted. It's just no getting rid of it. So.
Yeah. Oh, Muchella in here tripping, man. If y'all don't know Muchella, she is a fan favorite around here. She said he's trying to ride them hind parts for clout.
Yeah, she right. She's right.
I agree. I mean, look, man, when you're a struggle rapper, you gotta do what you gotta do, man. And if you can lay it down right, you can get paid.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bill. If she wants to use him for the deed, he wants to use her for the clout. I mean, it seems like they're both getting something out of it. So do what you do.
Fair exchange.
Yeah, made in heaven. I mean, we've seen whites do it for years. Hugh Hefner. That rich dude with the oil, what was her name? Anna, I can't even think of her name.
Oh, yeah, Anna Nicole Smith.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean, the old billionaire.
Yeah.
Dude, what's his name? Tom Arnold. He did that. He wrote up on Roseanne.
Yeah.
He's so famous.
Yeah, man. So hey, why not let it happen for us too? Moving right along. COVID virus update and issues dealing with COVID virus. T-Streams, I said to Larry before you got here, has the COVID virus shown just how vulnerable American capitalism is based on what's going on right now? Give us your take on that one, my brother.
Well, absolutely. I mean, you just, absolutely. And I think that anybody with just a small amount of common sense can really see that. When I mean the economy is essentially shut down right now, and some of this stuff is irreparable. Is there's going to be some that's not going to pull out from it because when they're not trying to give like really extended numbers, and so they're gonna feed us a month or two at a time and stuff like that. But those months starts to add up, and as far as when it comes to the whole thing of capitalism, yeah, there'll be some big names that still stick around, but the middle class merchant, the people that's actually thriving, that's actually pushing and thriving the economy, some of those are going to take some serious hits. And this whole situation right here, right now, unequivocally lets us know that the U.S. and our whole our whole system is extremely vulnerable to stuff like this. Anytime when you can literally shut the whole country down, and in a matter of minutes, I mean, like, hey, everything has to be shut down by midnight Saturday night, and
Right.
Sunday, everything was shut down. You still had a few people still trying to linger around and stuff like that, but now things are shut down. I was just watching Hot Boxing with Mike Tyson, and he had Dana White on there, and he asked him, how is it out in Vegas? And he said, man, it's just odd because the casinos closed and everything closed. The casinos closed here. And so a lot of the industries that's actually pushing the US are off right now, so they have, the powers that be actually have to sit back and rethink this whole situation just in case, because if it happened now, it'll eventually happen again.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen it on smaller scales and stuff, like with swine flu, bird flu, SARS, Ebola, and some of those other stuff. And so it's the whole concept of the U.S. being stricken with with these like pandemics is not anything new. Okay, right. It may be new on this scale because now everything has been forced to a complete halt. And we're not even at the apex of the issue yet. So,
right.
So we're definitely in a vulnerable. We're definitely in a vulnerable state. And right now is really just the calm before the true storm. Because if this goes on an extra month or two, the whole dialogue is going to be different. Then
well, we know it's going another month at least because they've already said they're extending the stay-at-home orders until. Nationally till through April 30th, and here in Virginia they've extended it out for 70 days or something. So we have an official stay-at-home order until June 10th. Yeah. So I mean if things look like they've leveled out, I'm sure they can go ahead and draw, just sort of reel that back in. But when you listen, like, I don't know if you guys have watched any of those Trump press conferences, those COVID press conferences he's having, but
I try to watch them.
Yeah, today he was saying, oh, things should be back. We should be back and heading towards a recovery by June 1st. And you saw all the sort of the reporters peek their ears up, like, June 1st? Does that mean, not that you can predict anything, but it sounds to me like he's already has it in his mind. We're gonna be on a lockdown through the month of May. Like he's already said we're going through April, but it sounds to me like he already has it in his mind that we're going through the month of May. And then hopefully in June we'll be back to start and heading back to work. So man, we're looking at least 2 months, I believe, because I think at April, because they've already talked about hotspots popping up in places down south. And so, yes, we have New York City, which you expect if something hits, you expect places like New York City and some places out west where you have really high concentrations of people because of the city structures. But once you start having that stuff spread out, where you start going down to New Orleans and you start getting people in different places in Texas, maybe you get to some of the smaller states, you're going to have a second wave of this. Mm-hmm. And, at some point I'm really thinking, I know it's a really hard pill to swallow. I feel like the president really needs to have like a meeting of the governors and just say, look, we need a national, just 50 state lockdown and just lock it down for 2 weeks and try and level it out and see what you can do. Because otherwise, if you keep piecemealing it out like we do, it's just going to go from one little epicenter to another little epicenter. It's just going to have these little peaks. And we could end up down with our economy down for months upon months.
Yeah. So I really didn't. Y'all know business and politics bugs the hell out of me because there's so many inaccuracies. There's so many false narratives running around. And I really didn't want to. But since y'all brought up Trump punk ass, I'll go ahead and go in on him. You know what he needs to do during those press conferences? He needs to sit his ass down and shut the F up. That's what he needs to do. He does not listen to anybody giving him rational, sound advice, not even the medical people. He is so hell bent on, I'm going to give a leader speech. I'm going to tell y'all the day when this thing is going to end, and I'm going to take the credit for it when it does. The doctors keep saying, this is one that you take day by day. We're waiting for it to hit the curve and start coming down, and it's not done that. There is no end date until the doctors can say that they have one. And it bugs me that he first came out and said, oh, we're going to be good. We're going to have people in church by Easter, April 15th. Now he's extended it to the end of April. Now he's talking about June. You don't know. Trust the doctors you've got in place that are telling you you will not know when we can start saying we're going to start fixing the economy until we get these people healthy. And we don't know when that's going to happen because everybody is strapped for not only medical devices, medical equipment. New York is begging for people who have medical background to come up there and help serve their population. Just today in the United States, we have lost 525 people due to the coronavirus, which brings the national total up to 3,000 in less than 4 weeks.
Yeah,
so,
and, I'll tell you, it scares me when they talk about bringing back these doctors, because they said they had a call out to bring back for these these retired doctors to come back and help out. And I'm thinking to myself, that is the exact population that you don't want around this virus. I mean, I get that they have the actual medical knowledge to do good, but damn, you're talking about retired doctors. A lot of these doctors don't retire until they're in their 70s. And you want to bring them back?
Yeah. He's basically calling people out like this is some kind of military draft. It's a medical draft. If you have any kind of degree, hell, you can be a CNA. If you can come up here and help, we need you. It's what Cuomo was. And I think that what people need to understand is it's real, ladies and gentlemen. I know my subscribers know. So we're preaching to the choir here. But if somebody happens to come across this video, because we are brothers that spit good knowledge and good education, we're all highly educated business owners, and we do YouTube and other businesses. You come across this video, do not be the dude that's out there running up behind Lamont Tyson in Walmart saying, hey man, this close, I'm sneaking into a gym that decided they're going to win their damn gym regardless of what they're saying about the coronavirus.
Yeah. I mean, that's just craziness right there. That's just, it's irresponsible for your gym members. It's irresponsible for your business partners. It's irresponsible for yourself. They just shouldn't do it. And I hate to say it because I think it's probably pretty extreme, but for people like that, I would say that it's an appropriate response is probably just to go ahead and pull their business license and just say you no longer have the right to operate this business in this state.
Bro, those is facts. And I live in the South. T-Streams know what I mean when I say I'm living in the South. And you got a lot of people that are carrying on the lineage of Reconstruction where they hate the government because the government came and took away their cash cow in slavery. So now you trust nothing the government does. But here's the problem with that right now, people. The person y'all like is running the government. And even he's saying in so many words, stay home. So you just going to take it upon yourself to say, you know what? I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what the government says. I don't care what my state says. I'm going to run my business anyway, tough nookies, and it's going to get done.
Right. Yeah, it's frustrating. It's frustrating when we see all this stuff because it's just, and Trump. I agree with you on the sense that during these press conferences, he really needs to just sort of, I don't want to tell the president to shut up and sit down, but essentially that's what he needs to do. He needs to just come up there, introduce a few people, say, this is what we're going to talk about today, and introduce the people and then bring them up and then stop talking. Because even today he was trying to, he always wants to make everything a competition. He always has to have the people around him try and make everything a competition. Oh, we have such and so many thousands of face masks delivered. We have so many that's more than any other country. Oh, that's more than they're doing here. It's not a competition, people. It's in all reality, as far as the global community, it should be a cooperation, not a competition.
Right.
But he says so much stuff that's just wrong. Like he got into it today and he was asked a question by what's her name? Yachmi, Alcindor. She's from PBS or NPR, excuse me.
Mhm.
And he was, she was asking him like, hey, why are we still not testing people to the same level with the same, per capita that they do in South Korea?
Right.
And Trump is up there. Oh, I know South Korea. I know South Korea better than anybody. And he was like, do you know how many people are in South Korea? Do you know how many? And she started telling him. They cut her mic, but they were like, she was trying to tell him. And he was like, there's 38 million people in the city of Seoul. And that's why they can do this and yada, yada, yada. But he doesn't know what he's talking about. She was trying to tell him. No, there's like 19 million people in Seoul. And then they confirmed it later and said, yeah, there's 19 million people in Seoul. So you're talking about 38 million. You're getting up there giving people bad facts about simple stuff because you don't like a question that somebody asked. You think that someone's attacking you personally for this question. The thing is you are the quarterback of the team. You need to take all of that. That's what it is. When there's a problem, you get all the blame. And when there's victories, guess what? You also get the credit. So you have to take the good with the bad. Mm-hmm. But he really needs to just step aside. He needs to just say, we have such and such a report on today. We have Dr. Fauci. We have so-and-so. We have so-and-so. And let's just step off to the side. Instead, this dude's up there with a table with a business dude that has one of those, some testing devices supposedly can allow doctors and people to test for the COVID virus get results within 5 minutes if it's a positive test and 15 minutes if it's a negative test. And instead, so he wants to bring some businessman up there to talk about this and basically do an unboxing at the White House. I'm like, come on, man. I was like, literally, the dude did a damn unboxing. I was like, what is he now? Unbox therapy, White House edition? I mean, it was crazy.
Now, getting back to the question at hand, has COVID-19 shown the cracks and the fractures in American capitalism? And I've always told my wife that American capitalism is a ruse. It's smoke and mirrors. It's a pendulum waiting to burst because our tax system rewards people for doing the wrong thing. It rewards people for keeping yourself in debt, revolving credit, and it also rewards people for, in essence, not being able to not need them. If everybody in America was to save their money to buy the major purchases they need, such as a home, such as a car, such as other purchases you might make on a credit card, America would go bankrupt immediately. Immediately, like that. But our tax system rewards people for keeping credit lines going. What do a lot of businesses do? They buy stuff that they don't need every single year because it expenses down your revenue. That's not sustainable. And
that's not even just businesses. You have governmental agencies that spend their budget money because if they don't spend it, they won't get that money the next year. They'll say, well, we gave you $50 million in your budget. You only spent 35. We guess you don't need the other 15. So we're cutting your budget.
Exactly. That's how it happens with nonprofits. You can't show a profit. So you got to spend everything except for about $500. And that's not sustainable. That's not real. That's not how they tell me, you, T-Streams, and everybody to live their everyday life. Your everyday life is supposed to be, you're supposed to be managing your money. You're supposed to have 6 months of reserve capital in case something happens. You're supposed to be investing for your future and just going and doing your business like that. But that's not the way the system is held up. And then someone asked me, where are they getting all this money? I said, don't you know that we're one of the only countries that is allowed to get away with printing money anytime we need it? We're one of the only countries allowed to get away with doing that. Trying to hold so much of our debt is unreal. If they called tomorrow and said we want our $1 trillion back, we would be in war.
$2 trillion. 2.2 trillion.
So it must have gone up since the stimulus, because I checked it like a week ago. There was $1 trillion and some change.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the money that we just borrowed. I thought when they asked where'd we get the money, I thought they were talking about where we get the money for the stimulus.
Oh, no, not stimulus money. So,
okay,
ladies and gentlemen, if you don't take anything here, you just need to figure out a way to take care of your own household and find a way to win in what I call crony capitalism.
Yeah.
So next subject, we're going to pivot to T-Streams. People can't get enough. They just can't get enough.
What's that, man?
Tiger King.
Oh, man. You know what?
Now let me tell you what's going on now. Guess who's in hot water and under fire over Tiger King?
Who is that?
Shaquille, the real deal O'Neal, his big bald headed self, looking like an 8-ball.
Shackle.
He's under fire because he was actually in the documentary. Okay. And so
Shackle.
yeah, they put pressure on him wanting to know. He bought some tigers from this dude. And so he released a statement today saying, I didn't know him. I had nothing to do with nothing. T streams. When we just seen you on a documentary holding 2 tigers, you admit that you bought it. Does Shaquille O'Neal need to give us more than I don't know the Tiger King?
I don't think so. You know, it's easy to do business with somebody that you don't necessarily know. I'm sure he's aware of his reputation and stuff like that. Because it's just the nature of that business. Is not too many people out there just selling tigers. You know what I'm saying? So to a certain degree, he knows of them. He may have only been aware of some of his sort of raunchy rants and dealings. And I did watch a few of the episodes, probably about 4 or 5 of them, maybe. And and I was like this the whole time.
Oh.
You guys to be kidding me. I couldn't, I couldn't get into it. I was watching it and I'm like, this type of, to me that's buffoonery, you know what I'm saying? But it exists. I did not even know, he did his little bid for the presidential run or any of that. Cause none of that never came to me,
Right.
That's weird, but I don't think Shaquille really owe anybody any explanation. Matter of fact, had it even not been for the widespread of how the documentary was told, it probably would have never been an issue, had the documentary not even been made. But seeing some of the other people that's in there, and then all of a sudden you see this guy and he's a high profile sports athlete and stuff like that. So of course it's going to draw attention to him. I wouldn't say nothing but I don't really think he probably don't even know too much about it. I don't know.
I think that Shaq got caught up in a lot of stuff and the same thing a lot of other wealthy people and people with means or get caught up in is that they have the means and the access to do and buy and participate in certain things that we don't. And sometimes those things end up being not kosher later. Like they may be cool, they may be legal at the time, but then eventually people are like, this shouldn't be done. And so if you and I were doing them, no one really cares because no one knows us really, But if you're Shaq and all of a sudden it turned out you were doing the same thing, now it's a problem, So, I mean, that can be just with anything. It could be the thing like with him, buying tigers. It could be if Shaq, if it was okay to have 3 wives, like what's his name in there, and Shaq had 3 wives, while it was okay, no one would have said anything about it. But all of a sudden, if it becomes illegal or becomes not the appropriate thing to do in society, then all of a sudden you get judged for it. And so, I mean, it's different. I think if Shaq still has his tigers and he's still doing his thing with them, then yeah, people may have a legitimate beef to say, hey man, what's going on? This has been outlawed. You shouldn't have these. And I think then there's a problem. But I mean, I'm not going to judge the dude for doing something that was legal back then.
So here's my gripe with Shaq, because Shaq doesn't have to answer to us, the public, but Shaq has to answer to TNT. Shaq has to answer to the board at Papa John's. There are people and industries that this man is making money for that he has to answer to, whether we want him to or not. He has to answer to these people. And the whole reason that they pulled Shaq into this thing is because these people that run these other corporations want to know what the hell is the status. Now, if I'm Shaq's PR person, I don't know if Shaq just grabbed the phone and tweeted or made a phone call and said, I don't know him. But Shaq is going to have to do more than say, I don't know him. When you are being responsible for a TNT and a Papa John's, just to say I don't know him is not good enough. You're going to have to put some sauce on that pizza, buddy. So in that regard, Shaq does owe some answers to the masses and the public. If this is something that happened and it was a legit thing back then so be it. But at this point, he's beholding to someone other than just himself. So yeah, he's going to have to give a better answer than I don't know of him. I don't know anything about it. Because you're
I agree. I agree with you. And I think like if Shaq hadn't bought tigers from him, if it had just been something where, say, Shaq had went to Shaq went to the zoo while he was out there because he was, maybe he was there on business or doing whatever, and he decided, oh, while I'm here, I'm going to go and visit the zoo because some people said it was cool. I think he was there doing like the All-Star Weekend or something. Right. And so I get it if he was like, okay, I'm just going to go visit the zoo. It's something cool to do during my downtime. Mm-hmm. But when you actually buy tigers from this dude, you can't turn around and say, I don't know him. Because the reality of it is you're not going to forget the dude you bought 2 tigers from. It's not like you're up there buying, it's not like you're buying a couple of iPhones or you're buying a couple of bikes for your kids. You're buying tigers.
And did you see what he was charging for those tigers?
A couple grand, not much. He said a couple grand for the Cubs.
2,000. He was charging. It ranged from 2,000 to 5,000 for the Cubs, and he would sell a fully grown tiger that was like 3-4 years old. He would sell those for 2,000 out the door.
Right.
So,
I mean, so it's one of those things I think where if he hadn't bought anything, I think he could have made the argument. I don't know him. I had some downtime during one of my days where I was working, so I went to the zoo. And because I'm a celebrity, I took a few pictures with the owner. He was nice to me and let me in with my people. And I took a few pictures because that's what I do. I'm a celebrity. I've taken pictures with all kinds of people. I think he could have easily have made that argument. But, I mean, Negro, you bought tigers. You didn't forget the dude. You didn't forget somebody you bought tigers from.
So we've got a few ladies in here today. So I'm going to ask them a question. Now, for y'all that follow this channel, y'all know one of my other co-hosts is Nicole, and she's going to come on the channel live with me tomorrow to discuss the Tiger King from a lady's perspective and what it meant to her when she watched this buffoonery.
Uh-oh.
To my ladies out there that are watching this, Shelly Long, Muchella, and the other ladies watching this thing, there was a clip in there when one of the dudes said, pussy gets you pussy. So what I want to know from the ladies in here is, were you guys wowed by these men that control these big beasts, these behemoths, these monsters of the midway? Did that feel warm and fuzzy on the inside and want to be next to these men of great power that corral these animals of power? Muchella,
I'm staying up out of this one.
I'm staying away from it too, dog.
What in the world? How y'all gonna abandon your brother like that, man? How y'all gonna abandon me? Y'all be going on subject, and then all of a sudden, man, y'all pull the parachute on.
I want to be able to do another video, man.
Tell your wife that everybody that's on this panel is married, and I'm getting ready to have a baby in July. Tell her she ain't got nothing to worry about. We are speaking from the perspective of we know power begets a lot of things, and a lot of people will trade in their left foot to be at the seat of power. That's all we're saying.
Okay.
Right.
That is all we're saying.
And from that standpoint,
Here we go. We got one. Shelly Long. I would. Okay. Okay. Oh, no.
She said, heck no.
She changed her statement. She said, heck no. Okay. I was about to say.
But here's the thing, in all seriousness, people really do like power. People are attracted to power. And
Yeah.
And that's why sometimes you will see these very attractive women with dudes that are just busted. Some of these old dudes that are working up on Capitol Hill, or they may be senators in their state or governors or whoever else that have these young, beautiful women that they probably have no right being with. You know? But people are attracted to power. And so it's just, I mean, and even though these people are not the same sort of power, the reality of it is if you're up there with these tigers and you're making money and you're sort of doing you have your public persona and people are coming to see you and see your stuff. There's an element of power to that. It's not something that's going to attract everybody. I mean, I think there's a certain power that attracts a lot of people. If you're an actor, if you're The Rock or you're Brad Pitt or Denzel or something, that's a type of fame and power that a general public is attracted to. But I mean, these dudes, they're not the general public, but there's still a certain type of woman that's going to want that. And man, too, obviously, as we see from Joe, I mean, there's both men and women that are attracted to that.
Absolutely. And here's my homegirl, Muchella. She's like, yuck, hell no. One of them had a harem. He was only paying $100 per week.
Yeah. At least he had given them really nice big houses. When you drove down that street and you saw those houses that they were living in, they were the women there were living nice. I mean, you look at what Joe had; he had them living in rat-infested trailers.
Yeah, that
was disgusting.
The tiger dude in South Carolina, he just basically had himself a pad everywhere he went down the street. And this is no different from any of these other people that come in with these cult-like followings, and they're able to persuade, in some cases, like David Koresh, he was able to persuade whole families to come and stay in his cult and got the men not to have sex with the wives, but was able to manipulate them thinking that it was okay for him to have sex with their wives because he was the Messiah. He's all loving, all powerful Messiah. And then you have the same thing with Jim Jones. And then we careen to the guy that's in the White House now. Only difference is he's not, we don't know about his harem, but I can guarantee you that we know about Stormy Daniels.
Yeah, but she was paid.
And
she wasn't getting $100 a week.
These other people paid too. They paid. One way or the other one, they getting paid.
Yeah.
Whether you get a house out of it, whether you get access to the tigers, or some like to say to the pussy, or whether you get what was the other dude in Las Vegas? He was giving them access to Vegas casinos and stuff.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, he was doing the same thing. He was up there partying, providing them with all the sort of all the trappings of being a sort of, you know, party boy, party girl, you know, doing their thing. And so yeah, I mean, it was you know, I mean, he was giving them the lifestyle that they wanted. He was presenting to them a particular lifestyle and giving them a piece of that, and they were having fun with it.
Right.
You know, and for them, it didn't cost them anything. They just had to sleep with them, and if they were okay with that, that was a small price to pay for them, I guess.
And hopefully that those actions didn't have to last but a few minutes. Our homeboy Tim is getting out of here. We want to say goodbye to Tim. Yep. Have a good night, brother. We salute you, man. You still having to work. We feel you. Right, man, and we're wishing you well every time you got to go to work. He's headed your way, Larry. He's going to Maryland.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Well, good luck, man, and stay safe out there. Make sure you have your antibacterial wipes with you so you can wipe down those doorknobs and stuff.
Yeah.
And stay safe, stay healthy,
and keep that cough protocol going, baby. Keep that cough protocol going.
Yeah.
So now we're gonna switch gears to kind of the TV show, movie. You know, we try to finish on a fun note. And the question that I posed to Larry T. Streams, I'm gonna pose to you, but I don't know if you know anything about this. What is gonna make the best video game movie? Do we still got your T. Streams?
Uh-oh. He looked froze.
Uh-oh.
I don't know. He might be getting beamed up.
Uh-oh. You still got T. Streams?
Yep, he looks frozen.
Uh-oh. Maybe he'll get back in here.
Yeah.
T Streams, if you can hear us, I think he's back.
Think he's back?
Yeah, I think he's gone.
He's gone.
T Streams, when you can get a chance, man, click back into the channel. But anyway, we're gonna finish this off. So I asked Larry. I said, Larry, there are some great video games out there that could make a good movie, and there are 3 that Hollywood is kind of debating which one they should do first. And I love all these games. They're mostly PS4 games.
Okay.
So 3 games are Last of Us, which is an apocalyptic video game, and it's good. T Streams is back. We get him back.
All right.
There you
go. Man, I don't know, man. There's some strange things going on over here, man. I thought we was in the Matrix for a second because it was sort of going in and out. And
we ain't want no smoke. So
well, I just want to know. I want to know, which one did you take, the red pill or the blue one?
So the question we posing to the people now is T Streams. Mm-hmm. Which one of these would make the best movie from a video game? Would it be Last of Us, an apocalyptic video game? Would it be God of War? And I love that game too. Or would it be Uncharted, which is kind of a theft game? Some people might say it equals Tomb Raider, which was a movie. God of War might equal 300, which was a good movie. And Last of Us would probably equal World War Z, which was also a good movie. I'll pose this question first to my man, Larry. Which one of those 3 video games would make the best movie?
I'm going to say God of War. And
I'm with you.
And I'll tell you why. I mean, I've seen some of the gameplay for the others. I haven't played them because I don't have a PS4, and I've seen some of the gameplay, but I used to have a PSP. And so I used to play God of War on there.
Okay.
And it was fun. I used to be able to hook it up to my big screen so I would actually be able to play it on the TV set, sort of like a console. But that game is straight up legit. That game is so much fun. So I would definitely say that. And there is a fantastic story that goes along with that. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of really great characters that you really get to like those boss battle characters. And I'll tell you, one of them that I really enjoyed playing was I enjoyed it, but I hated him at the same time. I can't remember his name. He was a dude that was the boatman that used to carry you to the underworld.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so that dude, I played that game on every level, and when I got to what was it, like beast mode or something, or whatever they call that last level, that was the hardest one. I could not get past that level. I played that for about 4 days. I could not get past that level on that hardest one.
Yeah, man. Streams, who you picking?
You know what? I was looking to see if I had them down here. I only got I only have the one of them, The Last of Us, down here. My other 2 are upstairs. I actually have all 3 of those games, man, and they actually, all of them pretty cool. I think God of War would probably make a really good movie when you can deal with the monsters.
Yeah.
It almost put me in the mind of something similar. When I think of it as a movie, I think of something like
300
Clash of the Titans or something like that. You know, in that area.
Mm-hmm.
The Drake boys with the other one, what was his name? Nathan Drake, I think it was. It's been a while since I played it.
Uncharted, baby.
Uncharted.
Now I did like those. I did like that as well. Yeah. And that seemed like that would, for movies it would be 2 different typesets. Mm-hmm. But when you think of the attraction that you get like with Marvel Universe and all that other kind of stuff, and big budgets and lots of fire action, big beasts and monsters and stuff like that. That's the little the inner boy in me coming out. You you sort of lean more towards God of War.
Yeah. And I hate to say this, I'm in the boat with y'all. And when I tell y'all, I love all 3 of these games. These are probably my top 5 list right here, minus one game that I'm going to mention in a second that could be a great movie. But I would lean toward God of War too, because we've seen the success Marvel has had with their movies. Kratos goes and kills the gods, gets their powers. And you could do this like a 300, but you could also have it where he had, Thor's lightning power, because this is from the Greek mythology. You can use all those characters freestanding with one rugged individual playing Kratos. And if y'all remember back in the old days, you remember how you used to get a power up with Kratos? You had to compete with women.
Right.
You can incorporate all these great things into a great movie if you can get someone to do it right, like the Russo brothers or someone like that.
Yeah.
Who's gonna play Kratos? You're gonna have The Rock, or you're gonna have Batista?
You need somebody leaner than both of those dudes. I want to say Jared Butler, but he's not big enough.
I was thinking either one, because Kratos is huge, man.
He's sort of.
He's huge. That's why I was thinking someone
in the middle. I mean, you can't get the Rock. The Rock is too busy right now, man. Can we get somebody else besides the Rock? He can't do everything. Golly.
Whoever they had play him, it's almost wild with the success that game has had.
Yeah,
especially being cross-platform, that it hasn't been mentioned yet. Not that I'm aware of. It may have. I just may not know about it. But it seemed like that would. And then the storyline actually gives way for perhaps 2 or 3 movies.
Yeah,
good movies.
Well, the thing is, each and every one of these video games could probably do at least 2 movies. God of War could definitely be a saga.
Right.
Because you don't have to have him fight every god in one movie.
Right.
You could save Zeus. Zeus could be like Thanos at some point in time. You ain't got to fight Zeus in the beginning. You start the first movie where he actually fights the god of war and gets his powers. Then he's starting to excel to the other gods. And then you could even throw him into Roman mythology and have him fight Jupiter if you wanted to. There's so many places you could go at this thing. I hope somebody could do it. But there's another game that they could make a great movie that y'all might not know about that had 3. When I say legendary games, they were legendary. It's a video game called Dead Space. When I say that was a good thriller video game, it had a black dude that was a space cadet named Isaac Clarke. And they're going somewhere because our government has sent them to another planet to mine a planet for minerals. So they're cracking this planet for minerals. And then in the heart of this planet is this tombstone that releases this stuff into the air that turns people into mindless zombies that eat you and eventually mutate into bigger monsters. If you've never played Dead Space, I would say play Dead Space, and you can make that an outstanding movie as well.
Okay. I haven't played it. I've seen it. I've seen the trailers for it, and I've seen I've seen some of the gameplay online, but I haven't actually played it myself. So
game is bananas, bro. Those are my 4 top favorite games right there. Those are 4 of them right there in one space that could all be excellent movies. And then the question for me that I would ask you guys is, they're still trying to make He-Man.
Are they?
Yeah, they're supposed to try to have it released next year, and they got this dude who is no bigger than hell. I'm gonna say Popeye before he eats spinach. That they cast to be He-Man. Now I'm trying to hold judgment, man. I want to say, let me see what it looked like, but everything I've seen so far, I'm really not all that pleased.
Yeah, you can't take an old classic like that and then go bum with it for real.
That's disappointing.
They have been, I have been seeing articles and stuff like on that for a long time, man. They've been talking about that for at least probably about a year. I didn't know that they actually finally cast somebody for it, but whoever it is, I hope they ain't bogus, because we already, I guess back then the Dolph Lundgren movie was okay for that time period, but right now, if you go back and watch it, it's not.
No.
It's not doing no good. And so you don't want to duplicate that same bumness, You know, they like they talking about the Mortal Kombat film and how that's going to be rated R and all this other kind of stuff. I hope they really do that some justice as well.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like if you don't do Mortal Kombat as rated R, then just don't do it.
Exactly.
Just don't do it.
Because that's what
it's going to be. It has to be with all the, with all the blood and gore and everything else. It just, I mean, if you're not going to do it right, just don't do it.
You know, when Mortal Kombat first came out back in the 90s, what made the game so taboo was the blood and guts.
Yeah,
and you can reach there and pull somebody's head out and see their spine. On top,
it was like 8-bit gore.
Yeah, man. The game, I love that game back in the day. I can tell you right now, that game ate up all my quarters, and I wouldn't come in there but with $5 worth of quarters and be going home in about 30 minutes.
Have you played the newer one?
Which one?
Have you played the newer one, the 11?
The current one?
No, I haven't played it. I haven't played it.
Oh, it's good. Yeah, you should play that. That's good.
It's like that?
Yeah, you might end up with some sore fingers from all the button mashing, but it's good.
Y'all want me to tell you the last Mortal Kombat game that I really liked? Now, y'all might laugh, but the game was really good. No, Mortal Kombat versus DC. I absolutely love that game. I mastered that game. I was using the Flash, and I was one of those dudes you did not want to play online because that was when I was in the heyday of being a horseman of Madden. So I knew everything how to cheat a video game. I knew everything. And I would cheat with the Flash. If you didn't get one hit in with me, you was not going to get a hit in because I knew how to make him run past you, pop you back, uppercut you in the air, and before you hit the ground, hit you with 10 hits, and you was done.
Jeez.
The only person that would give you a hard time in Mortal Kombat versus DC was Superman and Scorpion. Other than that, if you ain't know what you was doing, you was getting that butt whip.
Okay.
Yeah, I hadn't played that one. I followed the Mortal Kombat genre. I'm actually, after the third one, I sort of got a little bit away, from it. So I'm not like, I'm on scrub factor now when it comes to playing. So I can't even play online because they beat me up all the time. And my brother, he's a competition professional
gamer for real.
Yeah, with the he does his little YouTube stuff and competes on like demigod status and stuff like that with the Mortal Kombat line.
Nice.
Man, you should check it out, man. You should check it out. It's pretty cool.
I'll tell you what game I think. Now this one's on. I know you're a PS4 person, but this one's on Xbox, and I'm not sure if they actually have it on PS4. I think they do, but there's a couple of them because they have a series of them. There's a couple of games, but one of them is called the Far Cry series.
Yeah,
so,
on it.
Like I missed the original, like the first one too, but I started playing at Far Cry 3, and Far Cry 3 is probably as far as like is actual shooter games, that is probably one of the best games I've ever played. It is absolutely fantastic. I mean, there's good story in there. The gameplay is really good. The graphics are nice, but I think because of the story, I think it could do really, really well, especially if they started with Far Cry 3, because it really starts off with a group of kids, like kind of, shouldn't say kids, they're sort of like young college age people that get basically dumped off on this island, and they basically end up getting captured by these crazy dudes. And this guy, one of the dudes, basically sort of becomes sort of like a survivalist. He becomes the hero of the story and starts rescuing his friends and whatnot and taking people out. But it's incredible. If you haven't tried it, it's called Far Cry 3. It's awesome.
Yeah. I got it up. I got it upstairs. I pulled them out to, I hadn't touched my game system in a few months, been sort of preoccupied. But now that I'm stuck in the house, I took about 4 or 5 games up, to sort of just get back and and have something, have something to do since we all on quarantine lockdown right now. Man, I think they just put me in Facebook jail, man. They locked me out of my accounts. I can't get back in.
What in the world? What in the world? Man, this is the wrong time to be tripping on stuff like that when everybody's stuck at home. This is when we need
let everybody about.
The crazy thing about it is I had just posted on my timeline and in our group, come see me live on the Mont Tyson channel, and dropped the link, and then the next thing you know, my PC just sort of blew, and then it's telling me to re-verify this, and I'm trying to re-verify, and it just locked me out.
Oh my God. See,
man.
See, when I tell y'all the conspiracy against black men in the social media world, that ain't buffoonery.
They're trying to get you. They're trying to get you, Lamont. I'm not even gonna post anymore. I'm afraid.
I mean, do I need to come up here and start doing hood booger stuff to get my stuff to skyrise or something? I mean, my God, bro. They're trying to inform people, and they up there trying to block a brother. It makes no damn sense.
Yeah.
Make no sense. Well, I'll finish you guys off on this. What are you going to be looking forward to watching tomorrow, so that we can know, we can all kind of take a look out for it, and try to give people something to be entertained to watch tomorrow on their streams, be it movie, be it TV. Both of y'all, give me your best pick.
Man, well, I haven't started watching. Excuse me, I haven't started watching Ozark season 3 yet, so I'll probably start watching that. Hopefully, sometime this week I'll start watching that. That's a good one. I still, I'm waiting for this Disney promo that you mentioned, because I still haven't watched The Mandalorian. So, so I'm waiting for that Disney promo to drop so I can get signed up and get it for a discount, and then I'll probably start watching that. Okay,
Mandalorian. T-Stream, what you got?
Man, I'm going to grudgingly finish these last 2 or 3 episodes of this Tiger King and try to erase it up out of my memory. And I'm probably going to, because I hadn't seen, I'm not up on Ozark at all, so I'll probably start that from season 1. After the, if you want to, Larry, if you don't have it, or you're trying to check it out, man, I got some, I can sort of, shoot you some means to be able to check out The Mandalorian. I did check it out. That's pretty dope.
Nice.
And so, but I think I'm gonna probably jump on that Ozark and start it from season 1.
Cool. Yeah, that's good. You'll like it. It is a seriously good show.
It's intense, bro. I'm dropping the review tomorrow for episode 1 of 3. It go hard, but if you're starting from the beginning, all I can say to you is just be patient with it, because it starts out kind of monotone, very slow, maybe the first 2 episodes, but then it goes
crazy.
Yeah, the ride goes all the way to the top really, really quick. And I started reviewing before YouTube kicked me off. I started reviewing 50 Cent's new show, For Life.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm going to try to pick back up on that tomorrow, because I had a following me for that, and I had to just leave them hanging at episode number 2 because I got kicked off. So I'm going to pick back up on that a little bit. So
that's the one where the convict turned lawyer and got himself out, right?
Yeah, and that's based on a true story.
Yeah.
Right.
50 Cent, believe it or not, did a very good job in keeping that story very close to the accurate details of what happened. It's to the point now where no one else in that state can go through the means Aaron Wallace, that's the name of the main character. You can't go through the means he went through to become a lawyer behind prison anymore. They sold up the loophole.
Wow.
And so that's, if you have time to watch that, I would definitely say give that a shot. It is a pretty good story. My man might fool y'all in thinking he Denzel Washington because he comes off with a Denzel feel. Kind of
got a Denzel swagger.
Yeah, it's almost like he went and studied Denzel's moves, mannerisms, and voice because that's who he sounds like throughout the whole series. But it's a good show. Definitely worth.
What's the name of it again?
For Life.
For Life. I'm adding on my list.
Yeah, it's a great show. It'll definitely be worth your time. And they've got some parallels in that show where my man goes to jail. Now, I'm not going to spoil it for you. I'll just give you like a quick snippet. He goes to jail. He's in jail. He gets his license. He's fighting to get out. His baby mama, he goes to jail when his baby mama is pregnant. But previous to that, he owned a nightclub, and then they set him up. And what is starting to come out is the person that set him up might be his best friend who, guess what, is with his baby mama right now as we speak.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, man.
That's horrible.
Yep.
That is horrible.
So having said those things, ladies and gentlemen, we are thankful you all came to watch us tonight. Please be sure to share us with your friends, your cousins, your loved ones. Life game today. Stay safe. COVID-19 is for sure real. It's nothing to be played with. And if you guys want us to get our freedom back, just make your trips away from home to get the necessities, get back home. Do your exercise around the house. Go to a park where you can stay far away from people. But after that, come back home, enjoy the comforts you have at your home, and tune in to us as we're going to be coming in here weekly. And fellas, y'all want to get back up on Wednesday? Anybody free Wednesday at 9 o'clock?
I'm here at the house.
Yeah, man. Let's do this.
Hey, anything y'all can do to keep me from eating ham sandwiches, losing my cuts for the sluts. Look, I used to have one ab left, and that ab is gone. Completely.
Oh, man.
I can't see it. I probably can't even dig for it right now. I'm getting hurt, bro. I can't wait till a gym open back up. But it ain't right now. Stay home if you can.
Right.
Let's get us on out of here.
All right, peoples. As you know, I hope everyone stays safe and healthy. Wash your hands. 20 seconds. 2 happy birthdays should do it. And that's it. So stay safe and stay healthy. And until next time, love, peace, and hair grease. Peace.